All right, good evening, nerds around the world. Welcome to episode 130 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast, coming to you once again from the Nerds Unite 1.5 channel. I am your host, Paul English, tonight, and like always, we have a fantastic show for you. Better late than never, I suppose. We're finally getting around to discussing Deadpool 2. A much anticipated sequel coming off the unexpected blockbuster that was the 2016 one. Did the sequel live up to the hype? We shall find out. And to join me with this, I had three people, down to just two now. Hopefully the third one will come back. Let's start off with Colton Hunt. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, and time to make the chimmy fucking chongas.
Oh, yes, indeed. Hey, speaking of chimichangas, look who else is here. We got Mike Ulick from Geek Salad. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, glad to be here, and let's go fuck some shit up is my legal middle name.
Yo, I'm thinking of making that my new legal. I go to a court. Okay, I'd like to legally change my middle name to. Let's fuck some shit up.
Be hard to sign that on the contract, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could just, make it initials or something. One person I don't think will be doing that anytime soon. He jumped out for a sec, but he's back now. It is young Mr. Avi. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, I had the wrong link open. I'm doing fine.
All right, so let's not jump right in. Let's jump right into this. Deadpool 2. We'll give like overall impressions first, and then we'll get into a few specifics. So, Avi, it's been a long time since you've been on one of these, so why don't you start off with this? What did you think overall, quickly, generally, spoiler-free, of Deadpool 2?
I really enjoyed it. I know that's a shock. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than the first one. You could definitely tell, like, without giving spoilers away, you could definitely tell that more of the budget, that it was a bigger budget based on just the action set pieces, and it was just overall a much bigger movie, and I really enjoyed it. That's a short.
All right. That's just what I was asking for. Colton, how about you?
Well, I gotta say, when I was walking into this movie, I was expecting it to be, just a fun action comedy, not much else to it. I left the movie thinking that was way heavier than it had any right to be. I mean, the drama in this movie, I'm like, it kind of was almost heavier than Infinity War, to be honest. I mean, everything that Deadpool went through in this movie, like Ryan Reynolds, he really was able to appeal to my emotions. But at the same time, there was also plenty of moments where I was cracking up, which I'll get more into when we get to the spoiler section and all that jazz. And I liked how they did a bit more with the storyline, since they, now that they got the origin out of the way, they were able to have more fun, have more action, and have it be more comic bookish, I guess you could say, with the more familiar characters compared to the first movie, which kind of had the sort of the C-list squad with Ajax, Francis, and Angel Dust, who were fun to watch, but no one that, unless you're a hardcore fan, you probably wouldn't have heard of, I guess.
All right, Mike, what about you? What did you think of Deadpool 2 overall?
I really, really liked it. I did not like it quite as much as the first one. Whereas I thought the first one was an excellent balance of action and comedy and storytelling. This one, action definitely, comedy definitely, storytelling, I thought it was just a couple notches below. It was still really, really solid. Still gave you a much bigger story than I thought it would. But I think it was more, this movie definitely relied a lot more on the action and the comedy than it did the storytelling.
Okay, all right. As for me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think it was quite as good as the first one, but to be fair, Deadpool 1 was just it was a groundbreaking film that it would have been, it would have been next to impossible to top it. So I wasn't really expecting that much. That being said, I did think there was the action and the comedy were fantastic. You expect that. I did think it had a lot more emotion to it than the first one, which kind of took me off guard. Albeit the storytelling maybe wasn't quite as well, but I thought it balanced it very well. Again, not quite as good as the first one, but almost. So overall, yeah, I really enjoyed Deadpool 2. All right, so let's get into a few specifics. And where should I begin with this? You know what? I want to go to this one. The probably one of the most divisive issues of this movie was the quote-unquote X-Force. Some people loved how they were handled. Other people were pissed. So I want to get your thoughts on the X-Force and how they were handled. So, Avi, what was your thinking about how they utilized the X-Force?
I mean, I'll say I don't know much about the X-Force, but I honestly enjoyed how they did it. Like Domino, are we talking spoilers now?
Yes, now we're into spoilers.
Okay. So yeah, like it was clear that Domino was going to be the main character from the X-Force in this movie. So I didn't really think it was like a cop out that like at all the deaths for the other X-Force members. It was never supposed to be their like story. So and Domino's a great character. I kind of felt the other X-Force members to be like kind of one-off jokes. Yeah, so I really thought like Domino is a great character. I don't care what people say about like, oh, they changed her race. I thought she was great in the movie. Yeah, and like Peter, like I don't need to see like a full movie about Peter. I don't need him to be and I think it's just funnier to have them like be one-off jokes since it's supposed to be Deadpool and Domino's movie basically. At least to me.
Okay, Colton, what about you? The X-Force, what do you think?
I thought, well, the trailers were a tad misleading at first regarding just how, like, they included shots of the X-Force doing things that didn't happen in the film, but I actually thought that was actually a pretty good misdirection because, I mean, you know, in the world of cinematic universes and all that jazz, you know, Deadpool was sort of talking about how they'll be able to, you know, be able to run their own show for about 10 or 15 years or whatever, all that jazz. So yeah, we're expecting them to just be sort of poorly disguised pilot characters. So to see them actually, you know, all horrifically die, I mean, that was something I did not only did I not see that coming, like I'm dead shocked that the trailers did not spoil the fact that the X-Force was going to die. Not only was that shocking, but it was just utterly hilarious to see the ways they got killed off, especially, you know, when Vanisher crashes into those electrical wires and it's Brad Pitt, and yeah. I'm like, I didn't even realize it was him until somebody told me. I'm like, man, that's probably one of the most funniest cameos ever. It's like we get a big name star, then we kill him within like 10 seconds, and people might not even notice it's him. It's like it gives me incentive to go back and rewatch it. And I also loved how after the X-Force dies, Domino is like, you know, is still parachuting to safety, and she's like completely unaware of the fact that the X-Force just horrifically died, and the dialogue between her and Deadpool regarding their deaths, and as she, you know, then starts going to work and running towards the convoy, it just cracked me up. So the fact that this joke was as hilarious as it was, I am perfectly okay with the X-Force dying. Though I also have a sneaking suspicion that they'll probably get their own movie anyway, so no harm, no foul anyway. Especially regarding how the film ends, so yeah.
Yeah, which we will get to later. But in the meantime, Mike, X-Force, what did you think?
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the fact that they had a couple of extra shots in the trailer because, I mean, that's pretty much standard quo now. I mean, how many shots did they digitally alter or outright shoot just for the trailer of Infinity War? Yeah. I mean, so yeah, that doesn't bother me anymore because I'd rather see something and think it's gonna go one way, and then have it completely, you know, throw me off. I'd rather be surprised like that than know exactly what's going to happen in the movie.
Good point.
But as for, I mean, there actually in the comics, kind of the same thing happens to one of the X-Force teams, so specifically the one with Zeitgeist on it. So as soon as they kind of announce that, you start getting things. I wonder if maybe they're gonna throw a switch up here. Yeah, could they? And then yeah, they go ahead and do that, which is just utterly hilarious. Yeah, I mean the Brad Pitt going in there, Shatterstar, which I actually really like Shatterstar from the comics, so I was like, that's still funny.
Shatterstar was the one from Mojo World, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they actually confirmed that Mojo World exists in this universe.
I mean, as soon as he hit the copter boy, was like, it's still funny. So, yeah, I mean, was it kind of a definite swerve? Absolutely. Was it funny? Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't read the comics, so I didn't know too much about the X-Force. So the way But yeah, the way the trailers were handling, and I thought these guys were going to be around for a long time, to see them suddenly just go, ah! It was so unexpectedly hilarious, and I honestly thought it was one of the best, if not the best, scenes in the movie, especially that blink and you'll miss it Brad Pitt cameo. Like, I didn't see the movie opening weekend, so I read an article that said he was in the film, but I didn't read how he was in. So seeing that was still a good surprise. And I did like the way they handled Domino. I knew a little bit about her. I know her powers with luck manipulations. So I was like, how are they going to show that in a movie? And I thought they showed it very well. So she was a good new character. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. Speaking of new characters in this film, Josh Brolin is making bank this year. I mean, Infinity War, Deadpool 2, he's got one other film coming out this year. And so that, and not to mention, he's the first actor, and I had a colleague at work say this, he's the first actor to be in 3 major comic book studio films. He was Jonah Hex, DC, Thanos, Disney Marvel, and now Cable, Fox Marvel.
Yeah,
now
but we don't talk about Jonah Hex, though.
Yeah.
This was his redemption.
It was twice
part of his redemption. The second part of his redemption.
So now he just got to do Sony Marvel, and I think he'll do everything, and hopefully get another shot at DC one day. But anyway, Josh Brolin as Cable. Let's talk about him. Avi, what did you think of Josh Brolin as Cable?
I thought he was like really good at as Cable, and I'm kind of disappointed that like him as Cable is getting like some attention taken away because everyone's like, oh, he's so great as Thanos. And I was like, but he's also really good at Cable, and I feel like he's not getting as much attention as that because everyone's like, oh, Infinity War is the biggest movie ever. So yeah, I really thought there's not really much more I could say. He's just a really good villain. He even has some funny moments being the straight man. Kind of how how Colossus works in the first movie. Just being like sort of the straight man. And a lot of the jokes in this movie work as just Deadpool just calling Cable or some other person just referencing him, like making a reference and calling. That's how a lot of that's what got a lot of laughs out of me. So yeah, I thought he was really good.
All right, Colton, what did you think of Josh Brolin as Cable?
That was surprising. I could decide which performance was best, him as Thanos or him as Cable. I guess it's good that it's good that he was great as both characters in the end. It's like he really did a good job with the more showing Cable's pain and all that jazz, but he also managed to somehow make Cable work in a Deadpool film. For the most part, like there were a few times where like Cable's moments were so dark that I'm like, this feels kind of out of place. But other times though, I felt like he managed to make Cable fit right in. Like he was able to tolerate Way without seeming like he had watched him for the wrong film or something like that. And I just loved all the action scenes that we got out of him in this movie. So yeah, Josh Brolin, you keep putting Jonah Hex behind you one movie at a time.
Mike, what about you?
So, Colton, would you say that he was so dark that he deserved to be in the DC universe?
Yeah, good one.
No, yeah, I concur with both of you. He was fantastic as Cable. I can understand why he's kind of getting overshadowed with Thanos because, I mean, I thought his turn as Thanos was just a masterpiece. I thought he did so much more than I was ever hoping he would be. But no, him as Cable. I mean, I've heard some people like complaining that they didn't really kind of go into his backstory too much. That they didn't go into his whole Nathan Summers and all that. I didn't mind. I mean, as far as I could tell, he was just some like badass soldier from the future that wants to get revenge for his wife and daughter. And if they want to expand on that backstory in a future movie or an X-Force movie, all more power to it, because after seeing him, what he can do in this movie, I want to see more. I mean, he was just so good. He played it very, 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 very close. I mean, when you're a straight man to want someone like Deadpool, that's a very fine line to play. If you go too serious or kind of too like, oh, I'm a straight guy, then it falls apart. But he played it very, very close, very, very. He played it straight without being too over the top, and he played it exactly how he should have played it, and that made it all the more effective as a character. So, yeah, I mean, the more they want to put him in movies, I'll see every bit of it.
Well, I know that there is an X-Force. I know that while Ryan Reynolds has said there may not be a Deadpool 3, I know there's an X-Force film coming out. So, hey, they want to do Cable a little bit more, I'm all for it. I don't really have too much more to add than what you guys have done. I do understand why he would get overshadowed as from his performance as Thanos, just because Infinity War was such an anticipated film. But, I mean, it should not change the fact that he did a damn good job as Cable. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of screen time he was on. And he did. I'm looking forward to more of him. Hopefully, he stays in shape long enough that he can play Cable for a while. All right. I do want to get to the big reveal, like the surprise character. Who the hell expected the Juggernaut to show up in this film? Especially just how underwhelming he was in X-Men 3. Now, his character gets a redemption moment. And yes, I loved his performance, and I love Juggernaut in this film, and the music that went behind him. That's just hilarious as hell. But Avi,
holy shit balls! Holy shit!
Avi,
yes.
Juggernaut, go.
Well, I will say one thing first, though. Who called it? There's a video from last year of someone doing a trailer breakdown of like Deadpool's like Bob Ross trailer where he's just painting, and he's like, "Oh, Deadpool's drawn this big blob," and they were trying to guess what it might be, and they're like, someone's like, "Maybe it's the Juggernaut." So that was that, because apparently there was a rumor saying there might have been a Juggernaut cameo like a year ago. But no, they kept that secret from the trailers, and I was happy that they did, because it was amazing to see just that in the movie and not expected. It's Ryan Reynolds doing the voice is what I hear, and it might be Vinny Jones doing the motion capture. It's not. I don't know who.
I think that Ryan Reynolds is doing both motion capture and the voice.
You think he's okay?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I know for sure it's Reynolds doing the voice, and yeah, I thought it was really, really good. He didn't say his catchphrase from X, but yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a really good just cameo. I was more in shock when watching it, and I was like, "This is just a really good character," and that's one of the reasons I like it more. More than the first Deadpool. I just think all the characters are funny, whereas in the first one, it's kind of only Reynolds being funny for me. No, but yeah. I see you shaking your head, Mike. But yeah. I really liked Juggernaut in this.
No, I wasn't shaking your head at you. I was shaking my head at Colton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to ask the question in the chat. It was
yeah, okay. No, but yeah, I thought he was really good. Not much more to say.
All right, Colton, the Juggernaut.
Again, I am dead shocked the trailers did not spoil this. I mean. Yeah. Anybody would have been like, "Hey, we got the Juggernaut. We're using the Juggernaut in this movie. Let's spoil it so everyone won't know because he's a popular character." I don't know how they managed to keep. I don't know who managed to keep that a secret, but I give them 2 very big thumbs up for that. And I like when I saw them teasing the fact that the talking about the cell that the kid was going to go to. I'm like, I wonder what this is going to be. I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably not going to be anything important. Then bam, it's Juggernaut. I'm like, holy shit. And it probably led to maybe one of my favorite jokes in the movie when Juggernaut's like, "I'm gonna tear you in half, Deadpool," and then he grabs Deadpool and actually rips him in half. I was like, damn, and also just dying of laughter because I just did not see that coming at all. It was killing me. And also, not only did we get Juggernaut back, but he also fights Colossus, making up for the fact that they did not fight each other in X-Men: The Last Stand, and their fight was glorious. As was how Juggernaut got killed by being electrocuted in his pants and thrown into a pool. Only in a Deadpool movie could that happen and still be hilarious and badass at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, what?
No, go. I'm sorry, I didn't thought you were done.
I'll be done in like 15 seconds. So yeah, it's great to another comic book character gets his redemption. I'm really liking how you know where we are currently in comic book films regarding how characters are used and what have you. Like they're not like when Juggernaut was an X-Men: The Last Stand, he was kind of just a glorified mook, whereas he felt more closer to what we would expect from him and whatnot. So yeah, okay, I'm done.
I see Paul
23
counting
and a
in the
half
background.
seconds, Colton. You said 15. You were 8.5 seconds over. That's your punishment. Now, Mike, I did see you shaking your head a little bit as we watched Colton rage out since we don't have Chris to do it. I did see you shaking your head a little bit, Mike, when Avi said he was a little disappointed that Juggernaut didn't say
a different thing.
Yeah, I wasn't shaking my head at Avi.
Oh, okay.
Colton's question.
All right, never mind then. Okay, Mike, Juggernaut, what'd you think?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, like they were saying, I love the fact that they didn't give him away. I love the fact that Ryan Reynolds and the two writers have kind of been taking these movies as a redemption story for all the bad misuses of these characters in previous X-Men movies. I mean, first they redeemed Deadpool and Colossus, and now they're redeeming Juggernaut. I mean, who are they going to redeem next? That's the big question. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but no, well, yeah,
no.
Colton just said Storm for those that.
Well, granted, Apocalypse, they kind of, yeah. I'd be open for Storm. I didn't think they had Rogue too bad. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the final battle. I mean, the fight in general, I really, really liked. How they disposed of them, I don't know. I didn't mind it. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. It seemed like a little, but even for a Deadpool movie, it seemed very juvenile. But yeah, it didn't offend me in any way. And we don't know if he actually got killed by that because let's face it, he's a Juggernaut. Juggernaut's been hit with a lot of stuff in the comics and still walked away from it. So yeah, they could bring him back. But yeah, great intro, great usage of him. I thought he was fantastic.
As did I. I mean, I already started at the beginning. I thought he was great. As we wrap up, one thing I will add to kind of counter what you said, Mike, when you thought some of the fight was a bit juvenile, I think is what you said. You could make the argument that was intentional because part of Deadpool's humor, at least in the comics, that he's always been somewhat juvenile at times, or so he can act juvenile sometimes. Maybe that was intentionally put in, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think it was kind of intentional. Like, you know, they said, let's fight dirty and all that jazz. So they were trying to be a bit more pragmatic with their combat, I guess.
Probably. All right. You know what? I did have an idea. Let's do something else. Because, Avi, I believe you said how you were thinking about how Cable made a good villain at time. But I want to bring up the fact that there really wasn't a true, you know, quote-unquote villain in this film. I mean, you thought Cable might have played the bad guy at time, but now it's the kid. Now it's this evil doctor that was torturing the kid. I mean, I can't recall the last time that a comic book film, at least, did that where there was no, like, quote-unquote villain. So
hey, something different. So, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I did want to ask you, like, what did you guys think of that?
I mean, I'd honestly say all three of them are villains, and the best kind of villains are misunderstood. So, I mean, take a look at, like, Killmonger and Black Panther, or even Thanos, or, like, yeah, no, if you say there's no villain, then great, something different. That's basically what I have to say.
Colton?
I'm not sure. I think I'd probably say that the guy running that mutant rehabilitation center and all that jazz was probably the closest thing we got to a villain. Whereas with Cable, you know, and what was the kid's name? And Cable and Russell, it was like all just, you know, kind of a misunderstanding and all that jazz, but it made for an interesting story. And I also actually liked the Doctor because he sort of tapped into something we don't really see a lot of in the X-Men movies, which is, the mutant prejudice and all that jazz. We only ever get that. That doesn't really happen a lot in the X-Men films, despite that being their driving force and all that jazz in the comics.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. And actually, technically, that makes Dopinder as the true hero of the movie. Because he's the one that ends up defeating the main bad guy.
I actually clapped my
Yay, Dopinder!
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was fantastic because, like, basically, it did set. I mean, even if you watch the trailers set it up that Cable is the primary villain of the movie, and I mean, for the first half, 2/3 of the movie, that's true, really. And then then you had Russell, Fire Fist, being who they have to stop, but not who the villain. He's the antagonist. And it's someone that they have to stop and confront, but he's not the villain. The villain is just a plot point, really. That's essentially what it is. But yeah, that's why I kind of say, like, the story was a little bit weaker. I mean, it's not really that it's a weak story. It's just that for me, the love story of the first one was just so kind of unique. Yeah, it was front and center. It was unique. It was kind of a relationship that we really haven't had a whole lot in movies in general. So the first movie honestly was just such a unique and special movie that there was no way that this one was going to come up to it, from in my book, at least, anyway. But I can see how it would for other people, and the kind of a lack of a true villain was an interesting choice, and very good choice for me. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can I say one more thing? I forgot.
Yes, please do.
Something that I liked about what they did with Russell and Cable is that when Cable traveled back in time, I thought he was traveling back because I thought Russell was going to be responsible for some sort of bad future. Like, I thought he was going to release the Juggernaut, and then they do something else that would cause the future to get messed up and screwed up. But to my surprise, actually, they averted it. It was just that Russell, he became someone bad in the future, but it wasn't like one action causes, everything to get messed up or whatever. It was just a small personal story of Cable trying to save his family rather than him trying to save the world. What I love my Save the World stories, I really do love it when we get these smaller, more personal stuff going on to show that, yeah, superheroes, they have personal things going on for them as well. They have personal connections and all that jazz. So props to them for going in that direction with Cable.
All right. I want to piggyback on what Mike said regarding, like, relationships in this film, and there's something that I want to bring up in this film, but I'm bringing it up just because I guess I don't know how I would say it right. Like, I thought something this movie did was so very effective, considering the times we live in. We are living in a time where, all of a sudden we got minority groups who are now fully, truly being recognized as equals. And I'm all for it. I mean, I know that when the Supreme Court ruled gay marriage was legal and all this, I applauded it. I'm not, but now we also seem to be age where, like, if you don't have some kind of representation in all media, you're automatically ridiculed and you're vilified and yada yada yada. And people are just, it's a reaction. People, I think, young people these days, are so overly sensitive about it. And I reading this article, and I loved how, and I agree with them. I loved how they handled the fact that Negasonic Teenage Warhead now has a girlfriend, little Yuki. And she basically just said, yeah, this is my girlfriend. And that's it. That's really all they said. And I mean, that's really all it should be. It doesn't need to be made a big deal. It just, yeah, it's there. Okay, no problem. And I wish more movies and more, I wish media going forward would do this. They won't make such a big deal when a character says, "Yeah, I'm gay." It's because it shouldn't be a big deal. It's just part of life. So I wanted to get what you guys thought about this. Plus the fact that I just love Deadpool and Yuki's reaction. I thought they were adorable.
Hi, Deadpool. Hi, Yukio.
So I want to get your guys on do you think they handled this perfectly, and do you hope to see more examples like this in the future? So Avi, what about you?
Yeah, I'm completely fine with it. They did. I don't know how Yuki is in the comics. I'm glad there wasn't an outroar if Yuki is how is Yuki in the comics? Is it like
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
Well, I think it's weird because I think they took the name Yukio, but the character it seemed more like Noriko, which is Surge in the comics, because she has electricity powers.
I'm more asking, is that Negasonic's girlfriend in the comics? Is that anything?
Well, Negasonic's Teenage Warrior is completely different in the comics. They're
okay.
Negasonic Teenage Warrior is kind of a nothing character in the comic.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an empath. Her powers are completely. In fact, that's why they got Ego the Living Planet for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trade so that they could change their powers in the movie.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think it was great. There's honestly very few LGBTQ plus characters in comic book movies, at least that I could think of. And that's why like there was a report that was saying like the Flash, like Ezra Miller identifies as queer, and like I saw this whole post and people were being outraged. They were like, as long as they don't turn the Flash anything other than straight. I was like, it doesn't really change the character, so why not just have representation? And it's great if they could have representation and they don't make it a big deal. And it's great to see representation. That's all I could really say. That's why stuff like Wonder Woman or Black Panther are big monumental films, because they're good films that also star a minority.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's great.
All right, Colton, what about you?
I think what stood out concerning this instance of an LGBTQ representation over other movies is the fact that they actually confirmed it in the film.
Yeah.
There was a lot of they said that Valkyrie was bi or a lesbian or whatever, but that was like only confirmed after the fact. Or there was like Lando being pansexual, which was confirmed, well, sort of confirmed in the movie, but not flat out stated. Whereas in this case, Negasonic flat out says, "Yeah, this is my girlfriend, Yukio."
Yeah.
I have to say though that part of me wonders, what does Yukio see in Negasonic Teenage Warhead? I mean, she's always in emo mood and what have you. I mean, I can such a perky ball of sunshine fall for someone like that. Opposites
Yeah, as Paul Abdul is so aptly put, opposites attract.
I know, but still, it's weird.
And yeah, you're right. It's great to see them confirm it because like all these other, it's basically a cop out to get people to watch, and then they're too scared to do anything, so they just say like, "Oh yeah, he or she was supposed to be this," but yeah.
Though also regarding this is yet another instance of the X-Men franchise saying screw timelines and continuity, because this is the second actress we've gotten to play a character named Yukio with a completely different power set. If you recall, the Wolverine back in the day, where Wolverine's bodyguard / friend was also named Yukio. But hey, I mean, at this point, if we expect anything resembling continuity in this series, we're going to be sorely disappointed. But either way, this is nice. No, I've got no complaints.
All right. So Mike, or to say, "Hi, Mikey." What'd you think?
Hi, Paula. Yeah, I mean, I hate to keep doing this, but yeah, I completely agree with everything you guys have said. I mean, what I like most is the fact that they didn't have to bring attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a thing. Who cares? It's they like each other. How long it's going to last, who knows? Because she is pretty gothy, or Justin Bieber, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think I've seen it in a couple other things fairly recently, where you have like a gay character, and they point out, yeah, he's a gay character, but that's it. Other than that, it's just a character. It's just an aspect of their character. And after that, who cares? It's just a part of it's just a part of who they are, but it's not a big thing. It's just who they are. The fact that we can make a movie like Deadpool, it can make so many millions of dollars and have a fairly prominent, lesbian relationship in it, but it's not like a key focal point of the movie. It's just something that's there that we accept and we move on. I mean, that's how we need to be.
Agreed.
What are you raising your hand about, Avi?
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, as you said, yeah, it's not a big deal, but the most important thing is it is a big deal to people who identify as LGBTQ. It's a big deal to them. Yeah, no, I get it. It's great that they could see it, that they could make it just a character, but it means so much more to people who identify as that.
Right, yeah. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a focal point of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just, it's there, we accept it, and we move on to the rest of the movie because that's just a part of who they are. We're not pushing them aside. We're not putting them down because they're in a lesbian relationship. We're accepting them, and we're going to fight a battle with them.
One last thing that I will add, and I didn't recognize it right away until it was pointed out in the comment. I think it's absolutely hysterical just how Negasonic gets so pissed whenever Yu-Gi-Oh! And Deadpool talk to each other. They're cute little things. He's like,
I love it. After he's trying to get Deadpool to come out and help him out, and finally Colossus doesn't do it, and then Yukio's there. Hey Deadpool, hi Yukio. That was my favorite running gag of the entire movie.
Oh yes, because it was just so adorable.
Followed quickly up by Black Tom Cassidy.
Yes, that's the best running gag. Just
kill Black Tom, you racist motherfucker!
All right. All right. Let's talk about another. I do want to bring this up. Was anyone as shocked as I was that they killed Vanessa off the way they did? Like, I know she didn't stay dead, and we'll get to that later. But like, what the fuck? I was kind of shocked they did that. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Avi, what was your reaction?
Shocked, maybe, but it was perfect. I am in the minority on the first one that I did not care for their relationship in the first movie. I just thought it was kind of like they both say nerdy references, so they like each other. I felt like they spent so much on Deadpool specific. It is this movie, but like I just didn't find their relationship that great. But in this movie, it shows that he really cares about her so much that he would like. She keeps telling him his heart's not in the right place, and he wants to just see her again.
Sorry. I don't think you were. I think you're wrong about their relation. I don't think it's just they say nerdy things together. They like each other. If you paid attention when they were first talking, you realize they both grew up in a pretty abusive childhood. I mean, raped by elders, had miserable conditions. I mean, there's more to them, and they have more in common than just like saying nerdy things. I thought they seemed like they were both in a way like damaged people.
I guess so. I thought they could have spent more time on it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got National Women's Day.
Yeah. No, International Women's Day, actually.
Yeah, my favorite holiday they celebrated was when they celebrated Lent, because that just cracked me up.
When they celebrated what?
Lent.
They gave up having sex for Lent. Never mind.
Colton, what about you?
Well, I would have been shocked, but people were on Movie Talk. There were a lot of comments. I saw a couple of comments here or there saying that Vanessa got shafted in the film, or that there was a shocking death reminiscent of like Kingsman or something like that. So I kept when I thought back to the trailer and how Vanessa wasn't in it a lot, I'm like, oh damn it, all the hell, she's gonna die, isn't she? But I gotta say, when she died, it actually hit me. It actually still felt pretty dramatic. It was really well executed, especially how Wade reacted to it for the rest of the film. So I will say that I understand a lot of people being pissed with her dying because it's a comic book trope of women being stuffed into refrigerators is the name of the trope, or basically the love interest dies just to motivate the protagonist. And I can see where people can get angry regarding that. But I feel like Deadpool also showed how that trope can benefit a character if it's executed well. In this case, Deadpool, he was always a screwed up person, all that jazz, and he was just about to start a family when he lost Vanessa, quote unquote, lost Vanessa. More on that later, but anyway, and seeing him actually trying to recover from that loss and the way that he kept, trying to see Vanessa again in that sort of weird near death void and all that jazz, it was actually very effective drama. It didn't feel like they just killed Vanessa off for kicks. I really felt it. And plus, it also led to a pretty hilarious gag where after Vanessa dies, we then cut to the credits, which says, wait a minute, did they just kill her off? And they're like starring someone that clearly doesn't like sharing the spotlight. And I also liked how remember how the writers were credited as the real heroes in Deadpool 1's opening? In this movie, they are credited as the real villains.
Yes, it's the director of John Wick, right? The second one, at least.
Well, the co-director of the first John Wick, okay. And I think he's saying the sole director of the second one. Yeah,
David Leitch.
Yeah.
Yes, that was an incredibly awesome James Bond style opening sequence. Absolutely perfect. All right, Mike, what about you?
That part was probably what kept it from being better than the first one for me. As soon as she said, "Let's start a family," I was like, "Oh shit, she's dead." And one of the things I liked most about the first movie is the fact that they didn't kill her off. The fact that it's a like Colton said, it is a trope out there. You could have killed her off and had him embracing her body as she died, and then have the mission be all he's got left. But no, they gave them a family to start, and then I understand why they killed them for the plot of the movie, but that part has always kind of it seemed too easy for me. It seemed too run of the mill. So we've seen it before. With the first movie, we saw a lot of stuff we've never seen before. We saw stuff that we've seen before, but thrown with a neat little twist. This one, it's something we saw before, and it's exactly how I've seen it before. He fails to kill a villain, so the villain comes and kills her. Yeah, I do like the twist at the end, and I understand why they did it with the scenes in that near-death spy. That I really like those, but I wanted something more. I wanted, as Deadpool says, that's just lazy writing.
I will point out for those, and because I think I'm the only person in this active session who actually still watches this show. I know that Marina Baccarin, who plays Vanessa in Deadpool, I know she had a pretty prominent role on the season 4 of Gotham, so that might have had something to do with the fact. And I might just take a wild guess that maybe Ben McKenzie didn't like all those raunchy scenes she shared with Ryan Reynolds in the first film, so he was like,
I actually still watch Gotham.
But that's just a guess. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking it. Okay. Not the last thing. Second to last thing I want to go over for here. Let's talk about that mid-credits scene. How fucking glorious was that? I mean, not just reviving Vanessa, but now killing off his X-Men Origins counterpart and then shooting himself in the head for writing Green Lantern. And the most perfect accompanying song, and that's another thing I want to get to, but we'll do that later, but the mid-credit scene, holy fucking shit. I think that might be my all-time favorite mid-credit scene of all time. So I want to hear what you guys think. Avi, what about you?
Yeah, there's not much more I could really say. It was a good mid-credit scene. It also shows the how much bigger the budget is than the first one, where the first one it's a Ferris Bueller gag, and this is just a much bigger mid-credit scene. Yeah, no, I really liked it. There's not much more to say.
All right, Colton?
I honestly can't decide how I feel about the mid-credit scene. regarding Vanessa coming back, that is, while it was hilarious, I've seen some people also saying that it kind of takes away from the lessons that Deadpool learned in the movie. But then again, this is a comedy, so it kind of makes sense that they would sort of fall back on that. But I'm not entirely sure. But it was. I'm liking that she's back. That if this is truly canon, I kind of like that she's come back to life, so that I can do more with her. But then when we saw Green Deadpool time travel and getting rid of not only his X-Men Origins character, but I was dead on the floor when I saw him actually shoot himself, Ryan Reynolds, in the face. Okay, we didn't actually see him get shot in the face, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds is like, at first he's like, this is it, you move up to the big time. So I thought, okay, so is this Ryan Reynolds just writing this ending or something? But then it cuts to show the script is for Green Lantern, and we see blood spatter on it. I'm like, damn. And Deadpool's like, you're welcome, Canada. Let me tell you, the X-Men Origins bit would have been even more perfect if they had actually gotten Hugh Jackman to come back to reshoot the entire thing. That would have been like the most epic moment ever if they had actually managed to do that.
I mean, in the credits for Deadpool 2, they do say special thanks to Hugh Jackman, so maybe they did get him back.
He used his likeness and all that jazz, but it wasn't. Okay. He wasn't. But you can tell it was definitely stock footage from X-Men Origins because they. Like when Weapon 11 got shot, you only see he doesn't. Wolverine doesn't really react to it. He just has kind of the same look on his face, indicating that it's definitely stock footage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll admit I was watching that scene with a little bit of sadness because I was like, barring a miracle, this is the closest we're ever going to get to seeing Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine. But we can dream, right? We can all dream, right?
I'm still hoping that there's a cameo in Deadpool 3 where Deadpool tries to get him to come back, and then he's like, "Fuck off" or something like that. No, we just get a fuck off moment from Hugh Jackman. Just okay, no, I'm done. I'm not coming back.
Or better yet, go do a callback from X-Men First Class. Go fuck yourself.
On that note, Mike, what did you think of that mid-credit scene?
Well, yeah, it was fantastic. X-Men Origins, Wolverine, Deadpool, which is not Deadpool, with more Dead Baraka, and Green Lantern. But let's not forget, he saved Sugar Bear.
Yes,
Peter.
I forgot about that.
The one member of X-Force that he loved more than anything. I'll never let anything happen to you, Sugar Bear. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it did seem kind of dangerous. All right, see you later. Oh, that was brilliant. I mean, and you know what? Actually, what really made it over the top. I mean, yeah, obviously that was great, but the over the top part was right at the beginning, where after Negasonic and Yukio fix it, like, I think we just did a really bad thing.
You think?
You have no idea.
I hope there's like a special bonus feature on the DVD showing Deadpool traveling to more comic book inserting himself into other comic book movies to fix mistakes or something, like killing Eddie Brock before he becomes Venom in Spider-Man 3, or stopping Peter's emo dance or something like that.
I guess actually there was a scene shot where he goes back and kills baby Hitler.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that.
There was. I heard about that.
But then they decided that was a little bit too much, so they pulled back from that one.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, yeah, I know, yeah, but that's like more like a philosophical debate. I'm not really into that too much. Mm-hmm. All right. I thought I only had one thing left, but there was one thing else I want to bring up, and that is the brilliant use of music in this film. I'm talking like not like original scores. I'm talking about like pop songs utilizing. I've been noticing that there's a huge trend recently, starting with Guardians of the Galaxy and its sequel in Deadpool, where you got these comic book comedy films making absolutely brilliant use of original songs or like pop songs, and using them so perfectly in certain scene in these movies. Like, I know Quentin Tarantino utilized it. If you listen to Pulp Fiction, like, he actually admitted that he wrote several of those scenes with the intention of using one specific song in mind. And I'm glad that studios it seems like more studios seem to utilize that concept. Like, okay, like when they're writing a scene, they're like, okay, I don't know if they're intentionally writing scenes to a specific song in mind, or if they just get lucky with a match. But I absolutely love it. I think it's a brilliant creative move, and I'm hoping to see. I hope to see more of it in other films. So I want to quickly hear what you think, Dave. Did you think the use of music in this film was great?
Well, let's see. We're specifically talking about Tomorrow from Annie in this movie, right?
No, we're talking about every song.
Well, yeah. I just think I think it works well, especially in comedies, because sometimes it could, like with Tomorrow from Annie, being used in this movie, like it's a great like kind of tonal shift. And I think especially in comedies, when you put music in it, especially if it's like that tonal shift, it works really well. Because rather than everything be super dark or super light, the shift makes it like that much more funny. So yeah, that's what I say.
All right, Colton?
I remember liking the music for the most part, though my memories are a tad spotty of some of the songs, with the exception of the opening song, "Ashes," sung by
That was good.
What?
I was just saying that was good, Ashes.
Yeah, by Celine Dion, or I heard that was she had sung a song, but I thought it was just for promotional material and whatnot, not actually going to be in the film. So when I heard it playing, I'm like, wow, this movie just got real dark real quick. It's like it's even better how it actually managed to fit in the movie. Like it didn't feel like it was from an entirely different film or something like that. It was pretty cool, among other things. So yeah, great use of music, especially towards the end where the characters are about to go rushing towards the mutant registration or mutant facility or whatever, and like they're running in slow motion. The music that plays as they run is pretty hilarious, especially when we see Dopender joining in for the rush as well. Yeah, good job.
Mike, what do you think of the music in this film?
I mean, that's one thing that they did really, really well in the first movie as well. It's just putting in kind of ironic music that really, really works well. I mean, when he's holding up the his little iPod or whatever, and he's actually playing "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel. If I could turn back time by Cher, they threw that one in. I'm all out of love when he's about to kill himself in the beginning, and I've actually got when he's doing that montage of killing all the gangsters, working 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. I mean, even in the first one with that Chicago song, and he does a really, really fantastic job of picking just the right songs to put in just the right moment. So
absolutely, give it to you. Gonna give it to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great song too. But yeah, fantastic music.
Also, the running joke about how "Papa, Can You Hear Me" sounds like "Do You Want Bill's Stomach."
That's pretty concerning. T.J. Miller.
All right. I know we're running out of time. So last thing I want to bring up. I know Ryan Reynolds has come out and said it's very unlikely that we're going to see Deadpool 3. I don't know how true that is, if he's just running it. But I do know that Fox has confirmed there was going to be an X-Force film coming out, if not next year, then in 2020. So I want to hear from you guys. What would you like to see in this X-Force film?
Well, first of all, so they're just gonna like redo all the deaths, or is it just gonna be different X-Force characters?
It might be different X-Force characters. I know Deadpool and Domino will be in it, possibly Cable, but I don't know who else is going to be in it.
Yeah, so obviously focus on like Domino and Cable. Yeah, that's a pretty like big question. I don't know what the simple answer would be I'd like to see it be good, but yeah, that's basically I'm unprepared for that question basically.
All right, fair enough. Colton, is there anything you'd like to see in an upcoming X-Force film?
Well, since they confirmed that Mojo World exists in this universe, I'm like, hey, why don't they do something else? Why don't they explore that possibility more? What Mojo World existing, having Deadpool and company having to go up against him and his cohorts or whatever. That can be pretty hilarious, I think, actually, especially for a Deadpool film.
All right,
X-Force film. Sorry, X-Force.
Mike, what about you?
Well, I would love to see Colossus in there as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to see more Cable, but absolutely more Domino. Every moment she was on screen in the movie, I had just had a smile on my face because Zazie Beetz was so damn good in that movie.
Hmm.
Oh,
Lucky me.
I love Domino in that one. But
Yeah, me too.
I don't know about Mojo World because that would mean a much bigger budget. Creating an entire alien world that's kind of lots of money. But I mean, hey, it's an X-Force movie, so you never know. I still would like it kept kind of on the down low. You know, just Cable, Domino, Deadpool, Colossus, maybe one, maybe two others at most. And you know what? Just go dig into the depth of the X-Men comic books. I'm sure you'll find some like vaguely. I mean, like who the hell really knows other than deep comic sweaties? Who knows who Zeitgeist was?
No.
Not me.
I mean, Shatterstar was a little bit more well known, but yeah, I mean, you can grab some pretty remote characters and really have fun with them. So I say, that's what I would love to see. Just keep the cast small. Just introduce maybe a couple more new characters, but make them like just really sweaty. Only the true sweaties will know, and just have fun with it. It's X-Force. It's Deadpool. You can have fun.
Yeah. For me, and I'm not really sure about. I'm not sure what I'm hoping to see from an X-Force film, but I do know what I don't want to see, and it's something that I've pleaded on another show before when Caleb and I did our reaction video to Disney buying Fox. I know it's going to be a while before the deal becomes official, and then of course there are these rumors that Comcast is trying to buy up Fox, hoping that doesn't happen. But anyway, I want Disney to stay out of Fox's way, like they've done for the most part with Marvel, and do what they've done with Marvel, not with Star Wars. Stay out of stay out of Fox's way. Don't tone it down. Don't put any Disney bullshit in there.
To be fair, Lucasfilm was always very Disney-esque. I mean, that's how George Lucas made it. So don't go blaming Disney for making Star Wars family friendly. That's been George Lucas's raison d'etre.
Okay, I call bullshit on Star Wars being family friendly. Rogue One ended with every main character dead. Okay, so
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see Disney's paw prints on X-Force. That's really all I can say. Just, let Fox do their own thing. They've got a good thing going. They're going to make you money. Just let them do their thing. So hopefully, as we get more closer to it, we'll see. All right, guys. So it's getting late, and I know Mike needs to go, and I want to see what Bethesda has new to say about Fallout 76. So we're going to wrap this up. This has been a lot of fun. Better late than never. So thank you all very much for being here. Avi, I know you don't come on very often, but we're always happy to have you here.
No problem.
Colton, it was a pleasure having you here.
It was really good to be here. I enjoyed it.
And Mike, as always, a pleasure.
Yeah, good to be here. Is E3 going on this week or next?
This weekend.
Damn. I got to get caught up on some news then.
All right, so we will hopefully see you next week. I don't know what the topic's going to be. We'll think of something. So we'll see you hopefully next week, or we'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Incredibles 2 is out next week, so maybe that.
Which I may or may not see.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.